and today's focus will be on the two vaccines that have already been introduced in India. One is the Covishield, the other is Covaxin. Earlier I have also prepared a video on Sputnik V, this vaccine. Here I am going to mainly focus on Covishield and Covaxin. So let me first talk about the vaccine. Covishield is Oxford AstraZeneca, a vector-based model of vaccine, you can say, and this is manufactured by Serum Institute of Pune. So in this case, the vaccine is a vector-based vaccine which is based on Oxford AstraZeneca model. The model is quite simplified version of adenovirus. This is adenovirus, a DNA virus. Adenovirus is a DNA virus isolated from chimpanzee C68 from the lymph nodes, and this virus is a DNA virus and it's a common flu virus. So after vaccination, the normal symptoms that you can come through or go through will be that of the common flu virus. So there is nothing to feel afraid about it. Mild headache, a little bit of fever for 2-3 days. Even without no medicine is required to cure this. So this virus, whenever a virus attacks our body, a virus is generally known by some of the characteristics. It cannot cause any harm to your body unless and until it is able to replicate inside your body. So when it is introducing its genetic material to the body, then only it is able to replicate. So what we do in this is, the virus in open air is absolutely harmless. As soon as it enters our body, a host, a living host, it starts its replication. So what we are doing is, in case of vaccination, the idea is to develop adaptive immunity, a secondary immune response, so that it lasts for a longer time, and when the real virus comes, it is able to produce antibodies to kill the virus. This is the whole idea of vaccination. So what AstraZeneca has done, the Oxford model is all about. This is the adenovirus, which is a vector that will be carrying. It's only the surface. You can say the surface. Here you can see the model is something like this adenovirus, which has got some surface receptors, the spike proteins. The alteration is only over here, that only the code protein, the protein code that is used. This is the protein code which has been modified, and here the modification stands in this matter, that it is the protein code which is that of the SARS-CoV-2. So only a protein code or the spike protein will not be able to, only the protein code, when it is introduced, that of the SARS-CoV-2 will not be able to cause any harm to your body. Here, it's just this code protein that will carry the SARS-CoV-2. So it's not that the whole of the SARS-CoV-2 will be given to your body. It's only the surface coat or the surface receptors that of the SARS-CoV-2. So the genetic engineering lies in this fact. This is adenovirus, which is acting like a vector. It will be having the surface receptors that of the spike proteins, that is of SARS-CoV-2. So this is the only alteration that will be used, and this is our vaccine which will be introduced onto the human body. Now what happens is, when it is introduced into the human body, say this is the vaccine which will be introduced into the human body, and as soon as it enters the human body, it should start its activity. So what happens, our body immune system, this is the body which has got its immune system. The antibodies are going to bind to these spike proteins so that our host, that is the human body, is kept safe and it kills. So this is the whole idea. And in this case, the SARS-CoV-2 only what it will be identifying, our antibodies will be identifying it as SARS-CoV-2, and it will bind to the surface receptors, the spike proteins, and it will kill the virus, so that the antibodies can keep the whole of the body safe, because this is the enemy for the whole body which is entering the body, so that in future, when the real SARS-CoV-2, when the real coronavirus enters, if it enters, it will be able to kill. The whole idea of vaccination is that our body's immune system is already provided with these antibodies which have got a good immunological memory also. It will keep in mind that yes, earlier it has happened that this virus I have attacked and killed, and second time when the same virus, this time when it will be the real virus attacking, will be able to kill the virus. This is the whole idea of this vaccine. See, the efficacy rate of this vaccine as given by as the information has been provided. Normally it is 70.4 to 70.6%. You can say that it is 70 to 80%. And as this is adenovirus, the origination of adenovirus, that is chimpanzee C68, from the lymph nodes, it's taken. It can maximum, what can happen to you? A common flu symptom. It's a common flu virus. So do not think that you are going to be harmed by any means. It is refrigerated and kept, and this vaccine has 2 doses. You can say 4 to 12 weeks, or you can right now find out that 6 to 8 weeks gap is maintained, so that the body from the first dose to the second dose, so that in the first dose when the antibodies are prepared, in the second dose a longer gap is maintained, keeping in mind that means this is a generalized view that the antibodies which are already prepared by our body do not cause harm to the vector itself, because in due course of time it might happen if the gap is not too much, then it may attack the vector itself. It is thought, because it has identified its enemy very well. But right now the thought is a bit different, you can say. So the whole idea of Covishield of AstraZeneca Oxford based model is on the basis of adenovirus, which is having only the surface coat protein that of SARS-CoV-2, which is nothing to feel afraid and with minimum side effects. Is Covaxin. Earlier I have talked about Covishield and now Covaxin. Covaxin, which is manufactured by Bharat Biotech Hyderabad and ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research. Now this vaccine, that is Covaxin, here the idea of this vaccine is a bit different. In case of Covishield, it's all about the adenovirus, where the surface protein, the coat protein, is that of the SARS-CoV-2. In case of Sputnik V, there was genetic engineering. Both Covishield and Sputnik V are vector-based vaccine. In case of Sputnik V, there it was the adenovirus, where the genetic component was altered slightly, and only the SARS-CoV-2, a small component, was used, and this vector was introduced into the body. But this vaccine is different. Covaxin is different, because here is the same SARS-CoV-2 virus that is used. Now you may think, if this virus is going to be used in vaccine, then we are going to be under attack of Covid-19. No, it is not going to happen, because here the SARS-CoV-2 virus that is used is weakened. That means it is made weak or disarmed, you can say. How that is going to happen? Either you heat kill it, you kill the virus heat killed, or you use treat with some chemicals or radiation. So what are the ways by which you can weaken a virus? Weakening or disarming the virus of SARS-CoV-2, so that we do not have the virulent properties, the properties that can, like a virus is only able to replicate when its genetic material is inserted into the body. In this case, we are going to introduce the same virus of SARS-CoV-2 by killing it either by heat or with some chemicals or some radiation that will be used to destroy the virus, and then it will be introduced into the body. And this vaccine has efficiency level, it is said, that of 80%. Why? Because it's the same virus which is in weakened form or inactive form. I underline, it is weakened or inactive, because most of the people are having the fear that we are going to take the same virus that will cause COVID-19. No, it is the weakened or disarmed or inactive form of SARS-CoV. There is nothing to feel afraid that you are going to take the same virus. It has been killed, it has been weakened, it has been disarmed, it is inactive. So there is nothing to feel afraid. Go and take the vaccine as long as this thing happens. and there are 2 doses of this vaccine also. 28 days gap is maintained for the 2 doses, and manufactured by Bharat Biotech of Hyderabad, and ICMR, a very big governing body is there, Indian Council of Medical Research. And this vaccine is using SARS-CoV-2 in a very weakened form, in inactive form. Also, one more thing, it is in refrigerated condition. The Sputnik V vaccine that has been there, it's freezed, means it is in powder form, but this one and Covishield is in liquid form. So this is, you can say, about the Covaxin. Another important factor, the efficiency level or the efficacy level of this vaccine is a little bit higher than the Covishield, because here the same virus that will be used as a vaccine. Vaccination means it is when the idea is that your body is able to produce adaptive immunity, because the secondary immune response has a good immunological memory also. It remembers its enemy, that earlier I had been attacked by this virus and I have killed this virus. So the body's antibodies are ready with the army. So the second time when the real virus comes, it attacks. So this is not a vector-based vaccine also. Covishield is a vector-based vaccine. If you really want to know, go and watch my videos which are made on the vaccines, Sputnik V, and this one is about Covaxin. Now I am going to talk about the basic question that comes in our mind about the vaccines. Questions about vaccines. Can I take a vaccine of 2 different companies, means the 2 different doses? The first dose, say, of Covishield, and the second dose, that of Covaxin. Now this question, when I'm answering, first of all I want to say it's basically specifically depending on the result of the research. Right now, theory, what does the theory say? Theory says yes, we can have it, and earlier we have seen success of such vaccines, the doses that are from different companies that has been used in case of hepatitis, in case of rubella virus also. So we can say theoretically it is there, but practically I will not be able to say at this stage, because at this stage we have to depend on the research and the results which are awaiting. So theory says yes, of course, but practically it's a question mark still now. Still now it's a question mark, but it can be answered with more research work on it. Next comes vaccines efficacy. Sputnik V claims that almost 91 to 92% efficacy rate. Covishield claims 70.6 to 70 to 80 range, and Covaxin claims 80% efficacy rate. With little bit of side effects will be there, but as far as Covishield is concerned, it is conditionally approved. In case of Covaxin, it is restricted use. Now this question, that when a vaccine has to be taken, few factors are also there, few protocols are also there. That is, in case of a pregnant woman, a lactating mother, or a comorbidity factor is also there. Comorbidity factor, if a person has multiple weakness, that is also a factor. So these are the factors, but otherwise, please go and take vaccines. Do I am not talking about the social issues in this case. I am just talking about the science over here and the mechanism over here. So with this, I am going to finish up the video. If you have more questions on the vaccines, you can please write to me, and please do give me some likes and encourage me to work more.